My mother-in-law suspected that my wife had someone else outside, so she arranged for me to work in my wife's company so that we could develop feelings and have children as soon as possible. But I pretended to obey her but secretly disobeyed her. While I was paid a high salary, I sold my wife's schedule to her white moonlight and also created opportunities for him to get my wife drunk and send her to his bed. There was a cheating on my head, but I had a big picture. I watched them being affectionate, and I gossiped about them with my colleagues. On the day of the divorce, I was so happy, but my ex-wife cried, "Husband, I was wrong. Let's get back together." She is ugly, but she has beautiful ideas. After 3 years of marriage, Shen Huo didn't want to sleep with me. My mother-in-law was very anxious. "If you continue like this, when will I be able to hold my grandchildren?" After thinking about it, she secretly arranged for me to work in Shane's company with a monthly salary of 500,000. Now Shen Hu is in charge of the company. My mother-in-law said, "The one who is close to the water gets the moon first." Ma believes in you. Try to make you pregnant as soon as possible and give birth to an heir for our Shun family. On the first day I joined the company, I found out that the assistant who had been in office for less than a month beside Shen Yu was Li Xuan, the white moonlight who went abroad to study on the day she and I got married. That night, Shen looked at me coldly and said, "Although I married you, I only have him in my heart. It's true that the one who is close to the water gets the moon first. But it's a pity that this building is not built for me." I chose to give up and stay quietly in an inconspicuous sales position. But I am handsome and humorous. Even if I sit still, I naturally exude charm hormones. In less than half a day, I got into the department. In my spare time, all the salesmen turned into gossip demons, eating melon seeds and chatting about gossip, from small things at the company's front desk to big stories that Shen Yu and her white moonlight had to tell. Less than 2 months after Bai Guang came back, he moved into Shen Zhi's villa in Yun'an, went to get off work with her every day, and had many privileges in the company. My colleagues and I made a bet. I bet 100 yuan. Shen Yu will divorce her husband in 2 months at the latest. Looking at the bets thrown by colleagues in the group, I laughed happily. Divorce, get rich. Just as I was smug, I bumped into my white moonlight Li Juan. His hand holding the coffee shook violently, and then he curled his lips awkwardly at me. I took the initiative. "Let's make a deal." Li Juan pursed his lips to say, 1,000 yuan. I won't tell Shen's family about your work in the company. If you agree, add me as a friend and transfer the money." Li Juan was shocked, but he still decisively added me as a friend and transferred 1,000 yuan. I transferred him another 1 yuan. 1 yuan. "Don't tell Champagne about my work in the company, okay?" Li Xuan looked at me as if I was a lunatic, but I just wanted to laugh. A few words made a big deal with a net profit of 999 yuan. Can I tell this big fool? I took Li Xuan's silence as a tacit agreement and proposed, "In this way, you pay me a basic salary of 3,000 yuan, and I will be your personal assistant. As long as there is news related to Shen Yu, I will send you a WeChat notification, and each message will be an extra 500 yuan." Li Xuan transferred 3,000 yuan to me in silence. Great, there's work to do. When I got home from get off work, I didn't expect Shen Yu to come back today and was sitting on the sofa reading a newspaper. From changing shoes to entering the door, she didn't raise her head during the whole process, which made my mother-in-law very dissatisfied. She frowned and wanted to confront her. Quickly gave my mother-in-law a look. I was worried that my mother-in-law would affect my relationship with Shen Yu and lead to an early divorce before I got evidence of her cheating. My mother-in-law took a deep breath, turned her head and went to the kitchen. At this time, Shen paused up at me as if she wanted to say something but hesitated. I gave her an encouraging look. "Wife, do you have something to say to me?" Shen pursed her lips and chose to shake her head. "Hey, I almost performed a chest-breaking rock on the spot. Isn't it just to get a divorce? What's there to be afraid of? Are you afraid that I won't agree? You think too highly of me. You know, although the Qin family and the Shen family have a bit of a marriage between rich families, the Shen family has become bigger and stronger over the years, but the Qin family has been almost defeated by my stepfather and stepmother. If she gives me money to get out, I will get out very slowly." I subconsciously patted my pectoralis major. At this time, my mother-in-law came out of the kitchen with a spatula. Shen Huang Kunshu again. Shen Huan looked at me. She was extremely dissatisfied with me and then left without saying a word. At the dinner table, my mother-in-law scolded Shen Yu severely and then began to comfort me. Son-in-law, don't worry, I am Shen Yu's biological mother. I know her. She has been blind for so many years. It's time to wake up. I thought to myself, don't wake up. She really wakes up and knows that I am fragrant. I still think it's troublesome. Not everyone wants second hand. But she nodded and said, Mom, don't worry. I will hook up her white moonlight and try to get her white moonlight to the top as soon as possible to help me get out of the sea of suffering. She didn't forget to send a text message to Li Juan in the middle. Xiang Huang was pissed off by me, that I think she will come to you, so you should behave well. Bai Yu Guang sent a big red envelope of 500 yuan in seconds. As soon as I received the red envelope, my mother-in-law gave me some advice. Shanghua Yi has a game tomorrow night. At that time, I will ask manager Liu to get her drunk, and then give you the news. You help her to the hotel while she is drunk, and then my mother-in-law upped the white rice in the bowl fiercely. I was a little glad that I got along well with my mother-in-law, otherwise she would have done something bad to me. The next morning, I found that my mother-in-law handed me a USB flash drive saying that there weren't any G resources in it. I sent a message to Bai Guang. Brother, Shen Yu's mother sent me a good thing. Do you want 10,000 yuan? Bai Guang was a tough guy who didn't talk much, and he directly transferred the money. I'll put it in a red gift box at the front desk tomorrow morning. My mother-in-law is a strong woman who is vigorous and decisive, and she has a lot of say in Sheng. She told people to get Sheng who dared to disobey. That night, several department managers, used to round-robin battle and successfully got Sheng Hu drunk. It was my turn at this time. With the help of Manager Liu, I helped Shen Yu to the presidential suite prepared by my mother-in-law. As expected of my mother-in-law, the suite was obviously carefully decorated for a first time with all kinds of style. I sold my wife without mercy and immediately took a photo of Shen Yu in bed and sent it to Bai Yu Guang, 20,000 yuan, no less. Li Zhuan's speed of transferring money was as fast as ever. As soon as I received the money, Shen Yu suddenly sat up straight, looked at me with red eyes, and tilted her head, a little sexy. I nodded and pushed her back to the bed. She raised her hands to struggle. I quickly said, Don't worry, I have no interest in you. Your brother Li Xuan will serve you later. She immediately stopped moving. I sold her and she won't lose. I turned around and walked out, but Shen Yu suddenly jumped up from the bed, took a few steps forward, and hugged my waist from behind. Husband, don't leave. I want to have a baby with you. Shemha was like crazy, pulling me to the bed with force. Fortunately, exercise and have a lot of strength. Otherwise, I would really lose my virginity here. After 2 rounds of fierce battle with her, Shen quickly fell asleep on the bed. After a while, Li Zhuan came. He was a little surprised when he saw my torn clothes. I comforted him. Don't worry, I am a moral person. I will never touch anything I sell. He immediately showed admiration and tried to call me a brother. I waved my hand. It's better to send a red envelope. Well, I made another 10,000 yuan in tears. After closing the door and leaving, I looked at the balance in my wallet and was a little touched, but I was even more touched. Shenhua Ho Shenhua had been married for 3 years and had been thinking about her white moonlight for 3 years. It was time for our marriage to end. I took the room card that I had opened long ago and checked into the room opposite. Then I took a simple shower and went to bed. The next day, the alarm rang at 7 o'clock. I took out my mobile phone and called Shenko's. She answered quickly but didn't say anything. I asked her where she was. She replied, in the apartment in the eastern suburbs. I asked Shenko, so hoarse, are you sick and have a cold? Probably. Well, take medicine if you have a cold. I hung up the phone, sat by the bed for 5 minutes, and sent a message to the paparazzi I had hooked up with a long time ago. Get ready for action. People who get paid to do things will never let people down. 10 minutes later, several sneaky paparazzi surrounded Sheng Yu's room in the cat's eye, and one of them pretended to be a waiter and knocked on the door. Then, Sheng Hu and Li Zhuan appeared at the door one after another. Both of them were wearing hotel bathrobes. The paparazzi immediately took pictures crazily, and Sheng Hua so scared that she threw herself into Li Zhuan's arms. Li Zhuan immediately showed his man line, scolded the paparazzi, and slammed the door shut. I paid the balance to the paparazzi and went to Shen Yu's company humming a little tune. As soon as I sat down, I heard the hot gossip about Sheng Hua and Li Zhuan, but they were all left over by me. I bet 500 you on that Sheng Hua and her husband will divorce before the end of this month. An hour later, Li Zhuan privately chatted with me and asked me for advice, Mrs. Sheng wants to see me. Before I made an offer, he took the initiative to transfer 20,000 yuan to me. He happily took the money, and I sincerely pointed out a glorious road for him. Stick to yourself and don't forget your original intention. But what I didn't expect was that when I got home from get off work, the family was happy. My mother-in-law and Shempu were there, and they were all like nothing happened. Shampo even changed her previous indifference and took the initiative to put her slippers in front of me. This Li Juan is not good enough. I asked him to stick to himself and stick to the Pacific Ocean. At the dinner table, my mother-in-law said that she would promote me, son-in-law, since you have already started working in the company. Don't stay in the sales department. You can directly work as an assistant to Shen Yu. Husband and wife working together can break metal with their own strengths. I thought to myself, I just want to break off the slag, but I agreed on the surface. As soon as I turned around, I sent a message to Li Zhuan. What's the matter? Li Zhuan replied to me. Her mother really gave too much. Damn, I was a little disappointed, but people are greedy. No one would dislike too much money. Otherwise, Li Zhuan would not have joined Shenghuang. I planned to leave him alone for a while, and obediently followed my mother-in-law's arrangement and became Shen Yu's assistant. On the day I left the sales department, everyone looked at me in shock. They never expected that this enthusiastic melon-eating handsome guy was actually the husband who was cuckolded by Shen, who was cuckolded by Shen Yu. Several colleagues chatted with me privately. Brother, I admire you more than the wall. You are really an ninja turtle. I thanked everyone for the compliments and immediately sent a small envelope of 9.99 yuan to the group to express my gratitude. Don't mind, I am just an empty name. It won't be long before I'm no longer her husband. Don't forget the bet. I turned around and bumped into Shenya. What bet? I immediately winked at my colleagues, and everyone answered more enthusiastically than the other. Boss, when will you and assistant can get divorced? Shanghai's little V, her eyes a little red. Her voice was a little hoarse, and she exuded the temperament of a green tea bitch. No divorce, Q and Ju. We will never divorce. Shanghai raised her hand to hold my hand, but I subconsciously dodged it. Her hand froze in my dress, sniffed for a long time, and retracted it. Let's go, husband. On the third day of being Shen Yu's assistant, I felt that I was not here to be an assistant, but to be a master. Zhao Hono Shen would do anything and even gave me the most comfortable seat to sit on. Because I love to sleep, she also asked someone to buy a big bed and install a wheel for me so that I could lie down whenever I wanted. I was a little anxious. If this continued, I would be spoiled by Shampoing. After thinking about it, I turned on the show affection mode and posted on WeChat moments all day. My wife is so beautiful today. She bought me a big gold chain. My wife gave me 10 million yuan for pocket money. My wife finally. Li Zhuan took the bait. On the seventh day, he appeared in Shen Yu's office wearing a white shirt and his face was pale. I was lying on the sofa, and when I saw him, I quickly sat up. Shen Yu also stood up, stepped on high heels, and walked quickly to him. It seemed that Shen Yu wanted to throw herself into Li Zhuan's arms, but there was a third party like me, so she stretched out her hand and took it back. Why are you here? Li Zhuan showed a sad look comparable to that of an actor. You, I miss you. Shen Yu's eyes were red, and she looked very hard to bear it. I suggested, how about I go out and avoid it? Q and Ju don't talk nonsense. There is nothing between me and Li Zhuan. I nodded seriously. Well, wife, I believe in your character. There is indeed nothing between you and Li Zhuan. But you see that his face is pale and his walk is weak. It can be seen that he has suffered great physical and mental damage recently. Wife, I think you should take him to the hospital in person. Shen was a little surprised. Husband, you are happy to help others and friends. Why should I be angry? Thank you, Shen Huffing, and took Li Juan away. In the evening, Shen Hua got a big slap in the face when she got home. My mother-in-law took out the gossip picture on her phone. Shen Hua apologized to Qiu Ingju. My mother-in-law really knows how to do things. Isn't it natural for Shen Yu to defend Li Juan? If I ask her to apologize now, wouldn't it arouse her rebellious psychology? I looked at Shenpu expectantly, always feeling that she would say the word divorce in the next second, but she disappointed me. She actually looked at me and said, I'm sorry 3 times seriously. Did you really think that the green grass on the plain above my head is a decoration? What's more, Shenhe truly wants to reconcile with me. Of course, I seriously suspect that she wants to clear her suspicion here. At night, I put on my home clothes and prepared to go to bed, but I found her lying on the bed in a sexy nightgown. I decisively betrayed her. Li Juan, Shemvu is on my bed. I'll give you 10 yuan to get rid of her. I looked at Li Juan and took my read envelope in seconds. I felt a little distressed. The scumbag is just giving money. Fortunately, Li Juan was very fast and called Shengju in less than 3 minutes. Shen He stared at the caller ID, hesitated for more than 10 seconds, and then pressed the answer button. After a while, she went to the bathroom to change her clothes for going out, and looked at me. Sorry, Qiu, Li Juan has a cold and fever. I have to go see him. When she reached the door, Shen Hui supped again. Hubby, I promise this is the last time. I can't delay it any longer. Shamhua taken medicine recently and seems to be discovering my shining points. If she is fascinated by me and doesn't want a divorce, I will be in trouble. I don't want to prolong the divorce cycle, so I found Li Juan, 200,000 give you a killer to ensure that Shenhuan died divorced successfully. Li Juan gave a deposit of 100,000 and said that the rest would be paid after the matter was completed. I thought it was a good idea, and Li Juan and I hit it off. I told him, Xiaohou is a person with a strong self-esteem. You just need to find a way to let her know that I asked you to go to the hotel when she was drunk, and then arrange the paparazzi. She will definitely divorce me in a rage. As a result, just as my plan was put on the agenda, Shen Yu was pregnant 48 days. I breathed a sigh of relief. After get off work that day, my mother-in-law, Shenpu and Li Xuan, were all in the living room, and I was very satisfied with this posture. Although she looked sullen on the surface, she changed her slippers with great joy in her heart. As expected, she got the result she wanted, a divorce. The divorce agreement was still warm. I was given 5 properties under Shenju's name, 50 million in cash, plus 500,000 alimony every month. I decisively signed my name. My mother-in-law looked at me, wiped her eyes, and sighed. Shenhan, Shimo, you are an adult. Don't regret the decision you made. Shenhuang didn't answer, just looked at me. See you at the Civil Affairs Bureau at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. After that, she took Li Juan's hand and left. The next morning, I waited for her at the Civil Affairs Bureau. After not seeing her for one night, this guy became like a ghost with red eyes. I didn't dare to show my emotions, and I pretended to comfort her a few words until I successfully got the divorce certificate. I finally couldn't help laughing out loud. Shan Hui in front of me. She grabbed me fiercely and said, Husband, let's get back together. I pushed Shen Yu's hand away and smiled brightly. Sorry, I don't have the habit of recycling garbage. I posted my divorce certificate in the sales department group, earned 5,000 yuan, and took time to treat everyone to a meal. I asked a moving company to move my things from Shen's house that day and moved into the duplex villa that I had prepared half a year ago. Then I called my childhood friend and told him that I, the hands-off boss, would officially take office tomorrow. During the 3 years that I was left out by Shengyu, I was not idle either. The connections of the Ken and Sheng families helped me open up many ways. A year ago, I emptied my own small treasury and opened a foreign-rate company. My childhood friend was the boss on the surface, and I was operating in secret. Now that I no longer have the empty title of Shen's son-in-law, there is no need for me to hide it. My childhood friend was very happy and said that he would pay for me to celebrate my singlehood. I didn't refuse, but I underestimated his high profile. When I arrived at the scene the next day, I was dumbfounded. My childhood friend directly organized a large dinner for me and invited all the old acquaintances in our circle, including Shen Yu. Li Zhuan was standing next to Shen Yu, and she looked at me with tears in her eyes again. I touched the red wine glass lightly with hers, giving her a fatal blow. Mister, Shan invite me to the wedding. I don't want to give a reed envelope. Then I quietly retreated to the corner. This dinner was a large gossip scene. I don't know how many people's eyes were on me, Shen Xiao Li Zhuan. Alas, eating too much gossip will bring retribution. Just as I was about to sneak away, a beautiful woman strode in, her eyes raised, her eyes swaying. I was numb and hurriedly called out, Cousin Li. Sister Li's name is Song Li, 3 years older than me, and now the manager of the Song family. She is somewhat related to my ex-mother-in-law. I followed Shen Hu in calling her Cousin Li. Song Li leaned against the door frame and smiled. Charming. I'm not your cousin, you're divorced. I don't want to take advantage of you. Instinctively, I felt that this girl was a little dangerous and wanted to run away. Song Li said again, Are you interested in cooperating with Tian Qing's orders? I was a little hesitant. It's not that this cooperation is not good. The strength of the Song family is not as good as that of the Shen family. Half a year ago, Xu Qing Fort Raid had cooperated with the Song family once and made a lot of benefits. But the problem is that Xu Qing Fort Raid is definitely not the best choice for Song Li. This girl is notoriously ruthless in the circle, and I'm afraid she will eat me. No, I'm honest. And this little property is not enough for you, Sister Li. Song Li smiled softly. With this little money, what can I play with? Don't worry, I'm not interested in your money, and I promise that you will take the initiative to find me for cooperation. She tilted her head to look at Shen Hao in the hall. I realized that Shen Hao was staring at me and Song Li, and her eyes looked a little dangerous. My heart suddenly clicked. My mother-in-law always said that Shen Hao, you should wake up now. Will she come to her senses and divorce me and suddenly know that I'm fine? I didn't hesitate. Okay, Sister Lee, it's better to do it today than to wait for a day. Let's finalize the cooperation today. I was afraid that Song Li would regret it. After all, not everyone can get the order of the Song family, so I immediately dragged her upstairs and opened her room. It took 4 hours to get the contract. During this period, Song Li pestered me to take her to spray and pesticides, which cheated me 8 stars. When applying pesticides, I do whatever is comfortable for me, lying down, leaning, or leaning. My dress is wrinkled and my hairstyle is a little messy. When I opened the door and went out, Shen Yu was standing in front of me. She looked at me with a shocked expression and seemed a little sad. Song Li was walking towards me, rubbing his waist and saying, Qianzhu, you are too fierce, aren't you? Look at how good Song Li is at talking. Shen hungry that her body began to tremble. I knew she must have misunderstood. A single man and a single woman checked into our room. Who would believe it if I told others? So I was too lazy to explain. If you have something to say, talk. You are sick. Take medicine. Don't get in the way, okay? Shen clenched her fists. When did it happen? I replied immediately, just now. Who would believe it? Is it important? I looked at Shen with a cold face. Don't forget your identity. You are just my ex-wife. In other words, what I do now has nothing to do with you. Don't say that Song Li and I didn't do anything. Even if we did something, I did it openly and above board. Song Li made up the knife behind me. Q and Zhu, you feel it. How about we have a few more rounds? I nodded and closed the hotel door with a snap. I think it's okay. Very good. I was cheated by Song Li again 10 stars. When I left the hotel, I had dark circles under my eyes. Because of the cold, Song Li next to me shuddered. As a man, I must show gentlemanly demeanor and immediately put on her coat. Shen Hao was still haunting this time and appeared in front of me like a ghost. Koenshu, why did you do this to me? This sentence made me, who was cheated, become a heartless person. I reminded Shen Yu, you are pregnant, but the child is not mine. Shen Hua's face turned pale. It was an accident. I said expressionlessly, Shen Hao can get you 10 of these accidents out there. Do you want them? Song Li didn't cheat me. I made a small profit in less than 3 months of working with her. To show my gratitude, I planned to treat her to a meal, but I didn't check the almanac before going out, and I ran into Shen Yu right after dinner. She looked at me like a pug seeing a bone, nodding and bowing and walking towards me, husband. She raised her hand to hug me, but before I could move, Song Li had already taken a step forward and took the initiative to hug Shen Yu. Cousin, pay attention to the impact. You're divorced, so don't bother me. Shen He raised her hand and suddenly pushed Song Li away. She looked drunk just now, but now she sobered up immediately. Q and Ju, I will not give up on you. I felt disgusted, and Song Li choked for me. It's useless, people despise you. When I got home in the evening, my childhood friend sent me a message. Brother, what happened to your ex-wife? The voice was followed by a forwarded video. In the video, Shanghai's clothes overturned a table at the drinking party and ruined a table of delicious dishes, but she did not realize her mistake at all. Paranoid and crazy, Cohen Shu is my husband. Even if we are divorced, he is still my husband. Even if I am pregnant with someone else's child, he is still my husband. I thought to myself, Shenhe, what were you doing earlier? Were you Guang? Why didn't you think about you Guang? Why didn't about you Guang? Why didn't you think about today? There is a saying that goes, belated affection is cheaper than grass. It was so unlucky I took a bath and went to bed early. The next morning, I woke up, opened the curtains, and walked to the balcony. I stretched comfortably. I was halfway through a yawn when I was stunned. Song Li was wearing a silk nightgown and was standing leisurely on the balcony of the duplex villa next to me. When he saw me, he said hello to me. Good morning, neighbor. Have you had breakfast? Only then did I see the private message that Shenhe Yu sent. The time was around 4, and it was all voice messages. I randomly clicked on one and it was crying, Husband, I was wrong. Can we remarry? I didn't click on other voice messages, which was really a waste of data, so I blocked Shen Yu directly. After thinking about it, I still found Li Xuan. What's the situation with Shen Yu? Bai Yu Guang replied, she had a miscarriage just last night. Oh my God, no wonder she came to ask for reconciliation again. I suggested, don't let her go. Let her continue to give birth to your children. Li Xuan didn't answer, but after a while, he suddenly sent me a voice message. It was so hoarse, Qianshu, you really did everything you could to divorce me. You treated me like this for Song Li. I didn't like to hear this, Xunho. Do I need to divorce you for someone else? As a scumbag, don't you know what's going on? I don't love Li Xuan. I said that he and I were just an accident. You say it, I believe it. I waved at the air and hung up the voice message. Shen hummed me voice messages crazily again, but I rejected them all. After hanging up more than 10 times in a row, she sent me a message. Hu Inju, you will regret it. Hu Inju, who wants to be your sister. My heart beat a little faster, but I didn't have the guts to do that. Feelings are not as real as making money. I took Song Li's car home in the evening. Before the car entered the garage, I saw Shen Yu at the door of my house. I haven't seen her for a while, and she looks much thinner. When she saw me getting out of Song Li's car, her eyes fell straight on me. Finally, she walked towards me. Ju, I want to talk to you. Song Li lowered the car window and gave me a look. I replied to Shen Yu, just say it directly. Shen Hu hesitated for a moment and said, Ju, I have figured it out during this period of time. It was indeed my fault before. I was wrong. But a husband and wife are bound by 100 days of grace. We have been married for 3 years. It is impossible that we have no feelings. If you marry me, I will return the list I snatched from you. What do you think? I took a big step back. No, Shenghu, don't throw dirty water on me. You left me alone for 3 years. Is it easy for me? I am a normal man, and some days are very difficult to endure. Now that we are divorced, you still want to insult me? I didn't Shu and Shu. I didn't mean that. Sheng pursed her lips and glanced at Song Li again. Anyway, you and Song Li. Now we're even. You don't care about me, and I don't care about you. Let's remarry. The thinking of a scumbag woman is really hard to understand. Before I could reply, Song Li got out of the car and leaned on my shoulder. What's the matter, Shen Yu? Isn't it a bit conscienceless to openly hook up with your brother-in-law? Brother-in-law? I looked down at Song Li, my heart beat faster. From my angle, I could just see a little bit. Anyway, this figure is too good. Shen He's gaze on me suddenly became so scary. Hu Inju, you and Song Li will not have any result. I won't let you have any result. I got angry. Who should I have a result with? And it has nothing to do with you. You don't let me have a result. I have to bear a result to show you. Do you believe it? Shen Yu was mad at me and ran away. Looking at her back, I felt a little happy for some reason. Turning my head, Song Li was looking at me with his chin tilted. However, it is better to do it on the first day than on the second day. The result of doing it on the first day, my face turned red. You are a woman. How can you be more frivolous than me? After the company's internal from investigation, I found that I can't get a husband if I am too serious, so I decided to be frivolous from today. Xiao and Ju, are you ready? I thought Song Li was joking, but I didn't expect her to be serious. From the next day, she began to wait for me on the balcony every day to say hello, and the nightgown she wore became more and more sexy. In the morning when I went to work, she would wait for me at the door with a swaying grace. Although I didn't agree to Song Li's pursuit, it was already rumored in the circle that Song Li and I were in love. My sister's offensive was too fierce, and I had a vague feeling that if it continued like this, I really couldn't stand it. As for Shenghe, she caught ears from time to time. Because of the order she snatched from me, she was busy and exhausted recently, frantically filling the hole, and even shook the foundation of the main company. She started to lay off employees crazily, but the money saved by layoffs was still far from enough. In the end, it was my former mother-in-law who stepped in, removed Shen Yu from her position, and sold several houses before the Shen family's business stabilized. Shen Yu temporarily became an unemployed vagrant, and the group in the circle would occasionally send a message of her now run back. But my heart couldn't calm down. Every time I saw Shen Yu's news, I would think of what Li once said to me, Q and Ju, be careful of Shen Yu. I decided to ask Shen for a talk. Now she is like a time bomb. I speak first, which is always stronger than her dominating. Shen Hu agreed very readily and quickly set a time and the place was Shen's house. I didn't object. The Shen family is rich, and my mother-in-law is there, so Shen Hasu shouldn't do anything to me. As a result, I arrived as scheduled and found that my mother-in-law was not at home. I was shocked, but Shen Hu was nothing unusual. She was wearing a light blue dress, gentle and generous. She turned off the lights in the restaurant, lit the candles, served the carefully prepared steak, placed the knife and fork for me, and sat opposite me with a smile. Q and Ju, do you know what day it is today? I didn't answer because I really didn't think of any special meaning. Shenfu's face was slightly cold for a moment, and then smiled. Today is our wedding anniversary. I subconsciously wiped my empty fingers. Yes, today is Shen went my wedding anniversary, but we have never celebrated this day in 3 years of marriage, and we have long forgotten it. Shenhua's opening remarks made me uneasy, so I decisively changed the subject. Shenhao, I came to you because I want to talk about our business. She smiled. You go. Shenhe, you started to take over the company 3 years ago, and 2 years ago, your mother-in-law completely let you do it. You have managed the company very well over the years, and this failure is nothing. Yeah, I know. So Xiaohou can correct your mentality. I will. Shenhe cut a piece of steak and put it in her mouth. After chewing it carefully, she asked me, so, Q and Ju, are you here to talk to me about remarriage? Shenhu's stubborn attitude made me feel a little troubled. I vaguely felt that maybe I was a little impulsive today, and my proactive attack might have given Shenyu the opportunity to take the lead. I took a deep breath. No. Shampoir's face sank decisively. So, Q and Ju, you tried every means to divorce me, and then set a trap for me to fall into such a big fall. You have done so many things for me, but you still don't plan to remarry me? If you don't have this plan, why do you come to me? The paranoia in Shenhua's eyes made my heart skip a beat. I tried to act calm. Shenhua, you are my ex-wife after all, and I don't want you to. Your attitude is too good. Shenhao, remarry me. I also stood up. It seems that today is not suitable for talking next time. I raised my foot to leave, but after taking a few steps, a feeling of dizziness suddenly hit me. As soon as I fell to the ground, Shenghu rushed me. She turned over and sat on me and slapped me hard in the face. Kyunju, you are so cruel. My head was buzzing because of her slapping, and she suddenly became gentle again. I'm sorry, husband, it's all my fault. I realized too late that I fell in love with you. Let's start over, okay? My mobile phone screen lit up at this time. It was Song Li's call. She smiled coldly. Kyunju, I will let you know that Song Li doesn't love you that much either. Your choice is destined to be wrong. Then she pressed the answer button. Song Li's call was quickly connected. Shen locked me in the utility room and sent me another mobile phone. The phone was on, and it showed the surveillance footage of the Shen family's living room. Soon, I saw Song Li inside. She was wearing a formal suit, but she still couldn't hide her sexy charm. After entering the Shen family, she sat down at Sheng Hu's invitation. Where's Q and Shu? No hurry. Sheng poured Song Li a cup of tea and then asked her, I'm curious, how did my cousin fall in love with my husband? It's the ex-husband, okay, ex-husband. Why does my cousin like my ex-wife? Song Li looked at Shinyo quietly, and after a long time he said, Why do I like Q and Zhu? It's probably because of you, Shenyu. This is the first time I listened to Song Li so quietly, from the first time he and I met to the present intersection. The first time we met was at your wedding. Shenghua, you probably didn't realize that Q and Zhu loves you very much. I felt sorry for him at the time and thought he was blind and loved the wrong person. Later, your mother took him to expand his network. I saw him a few times. I have found that he was different from what I thought. He was not a love-brained person. He did not only know love. In addition to love, there were more important things. He knew what he wanted. At that time, he wanted to be your husband, so he studied everything your mother taught him seriously and got rid of the Qin family seriously. I saw Shen Yu's body trembled slightly as Song Li told her story as if she knew something incredible. Impossible, he loves me. He wants to be my husband seriously. I subconsciously clenched my teeth and wanted to tear Shen Yu's mouth apart in anger, but I couldn't help feeling sour in my heart. I had loved Shen Yu's past, which was so bloody that I could be so decisive and ruthless when I divorced. Yes, I did love Shen Yu. It's a pity that the person involved didn't know it. But Song Li saw it clearly. Song Li showed pity in his eyes. Shen Lu, have you ever thought about one thing? Why your mother likes Kinju so much? If he didn't love you, would your mother like him so much? Shen Yu's expression was tense, and I didn't know what she was thinking. Song Li continued. Later, I found that the way he looked at you changed. He became calm and self-controlled, and there was no love anymore. It was during that time that he founded Chu Cheng, for it reigned also won my heart. Shangho, you will never know that the treasure is hidden in the palm of your hand. You can hold it with a little effort, but you will miss it forever. Song Li's voice was so beautiful, and Shanghua's face gradually turned pale as she spoke. Shanghua, the reason I fell in love with Q and Ju is entirely because of you. You loved someone else and let him guard your marriage alone. I saw his persistence and tenacity. Over the years, he has not done anything to let you down. You are annoyed with him and hate him for designing a divorce, but have you ever thought that before that? He gave you a chance, but what have you been doing all these years? Sung Li took the lead easily. Her voice suddenly became cold. Shenhu, you want to remarry Q and Ju. Do you think you deserve it? When you don't want him, he is nothing. When you want him, sorry, you can't afford him anymore. I thought Shenyu would go crazy, but in the end, she sat on the ground and cried. It turns out, it turns out that he loved me. At the same time, the door of the Shen family was knocked open, and the police and the mother-in-law rushed in together, and Shenhu was subdued. Song Li's calmness completely collapsed, and she grabbed Shen Yu's collar like crazy. Where is he? Shen looked in the direction of the utility room, and soon, with a bang, Song Li burst in. She untied the rope that tied me, threw away the thing stuffed in my mouth, and threw herself into my arms, trembling. I secretly wiped away a tear. I didn't expect that the biggest secret hidden in my heart, the secret that I loved Shenghua's, actually seen clearly by her. I thought I was just a passerby in her romantic life, but I didn't know that I was actually a mark in her heart. After a while, I laughed at Song Li. Sister Li, weren't you very calm just now? Calm down. Song Li couldn't help but swear you loved Xiangju. It was a secret I planned to keep in my heart for the rest of my life. I revealed this secret. How can I be calm? You have no conscience. I hugged Song Li and laughed happily. Sister Li, I really didn't expect you to like me for so long. Sister rolled her eyes online, waiting for you to divorce all day. Is it easy for me? You don't know how I have been living this year. Every day I want to come and ask you when you will divorce, but I am afraid that Shen will find out. If this guy knows that someone is thinking about you, what will happen to me? I was almost laughing crazy, and Sister's face became uglier. Well, I won't tease her anymore and decided to give her a little sweetness. Kissing her forehead gently, Sister, to compensate you, I will give you a husband. Song Li didn't answer, but I could feel her heart beating strongly. After a long while, she finally said, you are not allowed to regret it. I laughed. Of course I won't regret it. Who would regret it with such a wonderful wife? Not only will I not regret it, I will also spoil her for the rest of her life.